study it to give a definitive answer, but I think something like that could make a lot of sense.
Okay. Jamie Dunn for Governor Quinn.
Governor Quinn, you supported cuts to the Medicaid system that were supposed to save billions, but the changes have failed to meet their spending targets. Meanwhile, Mr. Rauner has said that he opposes the Medicaid expansion under the Affordable Care Act, but in some states that took a pass on the expansion, as much as a third of the poorest residents are currently uninsured. How would you ensure that the poor in Illinois have access to medical coverage while also keeping Medicaid from squeezing out funding for other areas such as education?
Well, during a tough budget time, we did have to restructure our Medicaid program. It was difficult, and we passed a bipartisan bill to do that. In fact, it was able to make great economies. At the same time, this past year, we were able to restore a number of the programs to our Medicaid program because our economy is doing much better. Having said that, I did sign the bill to make sure that we got money from Washington to ensure many more people in Illinois in our health care system under the Affordable Care Act. 685,000 people have received health coverage under the Affordable Care Act, which I support. My opponent would have denied that funding to our state. That's what he said. He would have said to thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of families who now have health insurance under this law, that he would have denied that to them, just the way they did down in Texas and over in Indiana and Wisconsin. Those governors.
But how do you plan to keep the cost in check?
Well, I think the reforms that we've enacted have done exactly that. They're very good reforms that keep the cost to a reasonable level. At the same time, we've received more money from Washington to cover more people. And I think it's very important that we have as far-reaching health care coverage as we can in Illinois. My opponent would have denied that.
Mr.
He would
Rauner
have
needs a chance
denied
to answer
400,000 people
Governor, Mr. Rauner
opportunity.
needs an opportunity to answer that as well.
As I said, I would not have expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act the way it was done. It's the law now, it's here. I don't advocate rolling it back. What I do advocate is restructuring the program to eliminate the waste and fraud. It is a stunningly mismanaged program under Governor Quinn. I've met with nurses who work inside the department and deal with Medicaid. They've told me they wanted to meet in private because they were worried they'd get fired for sharing with me what's going on. The waste and fraud in our Medicaid program is out of control. Some of that came to light when there was a private investigation that was required under the legislation to check on enrollment abuses in the system. They were finding that as many as 40% of enrollees weren't entitled to get the benefits they were getting. Governor Quinn stopped that private investigation. There is waste and fraud that's costing taxpayers huge amounts of money. We need a good Medicaid program. I support a substantial, high-quality, well-funded Medicaid program, but we don't have that in Illinois. What we have is massive mismanagement there, just as we do in many departments under Pat Quinn.
Amanda Vinicky for Bruce Rauner.
Certainly, both of you like to tout your accomplishments, and frankly, I don't blame you. Some of my colleagues in the press, however, have done a good job, I think, of displaying some of your failures in both of your leadership positions. You as a CEO and you as CEO of the state, what is your biggest regret or mistake?
I have just terrific pride in our accomplishments. The problem is in business, not every company succeeds. And that's unfortunate. I wish that weren't true, but that's the free enterprise system. Some companies succeed, some fail. Venture capital, helping start and grow businesses, is extremely risky. Not every company succeeds. And unfortunately, occasionally, rarely, some executives engage in bad behavior, unethical behavior. That's unfortunate, but it's a fact of life. Where we found that to be true, we've tried to take action to correct it and punish those responsible. Overall, our track record of success is outstanding, one of the top track records of any investment firm in the United States. And we've invested on behalf of Illinois' pensions and in 22 other states for their pensions. We've generated well over double the stock market returns. We were honored to work for teachers in Illinois.